In fact, Ukrainian's role is by no means significant because the main actor in this field is China. And China is followed by Russia in terms of the reserves of these rare metals. But obviously Trump, who considers China to be the main geopolitical enemy of the United States in the 21st century, seeks to become less dependent on Beijing. And that's why he looks for to get these rare metals from Ukraine and even probably from Russia. And Russia, by the way, confirmed that it's opened to for U.S. investments and for cooperation with the United States because these rare metals are crucial for the modern economy in the 21st century, which relies a lot on electronics. So in these terms, Ukraine will not be sufficient for Trump.
Speaking of Russia, with Russia now controlling a large portion of Ukraine's mineral wealth, how does this impact global markets and supply chains?
Actually, it does not have a significant impact because, as I said, Russia has the second largest reserve in the world of rare metals. But at the same time, Russia's production does not exceed 1% worldwide, and that's why Russia is not so important in this term. During the Soviet era, the Soviet Union produced 15% of rare metals. But after the largest country in the world disintegrated, there was a problem with supply change because Russia used to produce rare metals in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and to recycle them in Estonia and Ukraine. But when one country disintegrated and became 15 newborn countries, there were obviously problems with supplies. So since that time, Russia has never been an important player in the rare metals field.
But sir, Ukraine's economy minister estimates that $350 billion worth of resources remain under Russia's control. What does this mean for Ukraine's economic recovery and industrial capabilities as well?
Actually, now Russia controls eastern Ukraine, and these areas are richest in terms of mineral resources and in terms of agriculture. But at the same time, these areas are not stable from the point of view of security. And that's why it's hard to imagine that American or even Russian companies would go for a long-term projects in this area. Ukraine, if it gets back these territories, obviously can profit from these resources. But on the other hand, Ukraine would need hundreds of billions of dollars to reconstruct the cities that were destroyed during the war. So at the end of the day, it's not clear if it will be economically profitable for Ukraine to get back the lost territories.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's explore the available options from a Ukrainian perspective, given the current situation. How realistic is a U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal, and what alternative strategies could Ukraine explore?
In terms of minerals, it's by no means realistic. But on the other hand, this deal also suggests to make or establish a fund that would get money from port revenues and others. So in these terms, this fund that would be under the American-Ukrainian governance might be useful for Ukraine to reconstruct the destroyed cities, but at the same time, the United States will also get its share, as Trump considers that this support for Ukraine by Biden was futile, and now wishes to get back American investments to American taxpayers.
Sir, you've mentioned China earlier and how the United States aim to reduce its reliance on China for critical minerals. If you can expand on how Ukraine fits into that strategy and what are the key risks?
A key risk is that the eastern Ukraine areas are not stable from political and security points of view. And when you speak about investments in minerals, this is a long-term project. And so you need to be sure that tomorrow it will be stable situation, there will be no new war, and apparently no one can guarantee that in Ukraine today.
Mm-hmm. Are there any legal or diplomatic avenues Ukraine and its allies can pursue to reclaim control over its resource-rich regions?
I don't think so, because basically, well, Ukraine can claim that this territory is Ukrainian under international law, but on the other hand, Russia would say that there were referendums organized in these territories and that the absolute majority of citizens voted to be with Russia. Apparently, from the international point of view, these referendums are not legal, but on the other hand, the international law guarantees for people's right of self-determination. So, and there is actually a time bomb in the international law which guarantees the right of self-determination on one hand, but also guarantees integrity of the states on the other.